What's up, guys? We're about to hop on the live on YouTube. Link in bio to join us. We've got reporter Matt from WBZ News Radio joining us tonight. Should be a fun time chatting with him. So hop on the chat, say what's up, ask questions if you like, and we'll see you in a few. Thanks. Should be a fun time chatting with him. So hop on the chat, say what's up, ask questions if you like, and we'll see you in a few. Thanks. What's up? It's the mode. Okay. Got this opened. Good there. And meeting ID. Okay, good. So that's just going to stay open. Recording. I'm not going to bother with the intro video because I haven't figured out how to fix the audio on that. Maybe I could look at that really quick now because I got a couple actually. Yeah, so when you go back and watch our YouTube videos, it plays our intro music twice because the video on there has intro music playing for some reason.
This one does?
Yeah, so I need to fix it in the settings on this.
Yeah.
We're already live, so I can't fix it now.
All right.
I have to fix
That's
it
fine.
before we're live.
Not too far. I'll just go to main camera now.
Just go to. You could do the one with the big logo on it, the intro scene or whatever. Not the intro music scene, but you know what I mean. The one that just has the big topics logo.
Yeah, that's it. I think that's the intro music scene.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, boom.
Let me pull up the chat quick. What's going on under there?
Yeah, wouldn't you like to know?
I was jealous.
This arm's going completely limp, I see.
Huh?
This arm's going completely limp. We've got a little crutch over here.
They have the crutch there.
Yeah.
They use that thing.
Oh.
To this side. I was saying to John, I'm like, there's you gotta be able to.
Paul live storying gross.
You gotta be.
He's what?
Yeah. We gotta be able to put metal washers in that have teeth on them.
Yeah.
You know, like John was saying, the ones obviously either wore out or they just never had them.
You do hear us okay? See us okay?
Yeah,
Do we
Paul,
look beautiful?
Does my voice still sound gross?
Talking to you, Rick.
All right.
You want to take the thing off?
Yeah.
Or we just kind of.
Hello, I'm John Stairs. You're listening to Topics Under the Stairs. As always, I'm joined by Ryan and Mark.
How we doing?
Hey.
Ryan's
sitting in a weird place today, and it makes me feel strange.
Off, isn't it? Yeah.
It is strange. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. We have a fun guest coming on. He's joining us remotely this evening, so we're going to rearrange.
I'll say our YouTube is going to be a little jumpy today.
Yeah, we're going to rearrange our segments slightly. We're going to do our callbacks and news and this day in history after the interview. He'll be joining us in 10, 15 minutes or so. But before we get rolling, this episode is brought to you by Revival Motoring and the Revival Motoring Network. You can check out revivalmotoring.com for everything about the show. Everything about all three shows, us here at Topics Under the Stairs, Revival Motoring, and our friends at Luce's Fast. There's a bunch of merch up on the website. There's a ton of cool Revival stuff. There's a new topic shirt that came out a couple weeks ago. If you haven't gotten that yet, go grab it. I did just give Josh all of like the back stock of our last year's stuff that we made from Dust Off. That is going to get added to the website as well. So that should be on there soon. And also, we did run a little contest this week with Spotify Wrapped coming out. If people posted us on their top podcasts, then they could, potentially win a shirt. And that's exactly what happened. And Nick Becker is the winner this week.
Well, hot damn.
Becker's getting the shirt. I just realized I do need to fix the information for the YouTube quick. If you guys want to talk.
Sure. Well, congratulations to Mr. Becker. Well deserved.
Yes.
How
was your Thanksgiving?
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
It was it was small, quiet.
Yeah.
Had just us and the in-laws. John's furiously typing over there.
Yeah.
How about yourself? What did you guys do? Did you cook?
No. We went to my sister's, and it was great. It was like 30 people.
Oh, well.
They did all the cooking. It was great. It was actually a very nice time.
I do miss the big Thanksgivings where you get to, see everyone. It's a double-sided, thing, because it's like, at this age, there's a lot of work that goes along with that. Yeah. I remember being a kid, go to the big Thanksgivings and just having a grand old time because I didn't have to do shit.
Right.
Except possibly clean up some plates and move some chairs later on, but that was, not too bad.
Yeah. Well, that's good. John, yours was good?
Yeah, it was good. It was low-key. It did kind of get changed last minute because a couple people were under the weather. So we ended up cooking the bird at Cassie and I's house, and
that's right.
Which is fine. I like cooking the turkey. It's one of my favorite things to do. I feel that I've perfected it to my standards, and I am pleased with it. I don't try to get fancy or change anything. I know what works, and I do it.
I've never cooked a turkey.
No?
All the times I cook every day, and I've never cooked a turkey.
It's a little scary because it's like you just do everything, and then it's like, well, hopefully this doesn't fucking suck in 6 hours.
Obviously, I would never do the first one on an event. It would be a Sunday where if it went wrong, then we just have peanut butter and jelly instead.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, kids, we have good cranberry sauce out of the can and some peanut butter sandwiches.
Did you work Friday after?
No.
John, did you?
I had the day off.
Yeah, I did too. That was too long. Too many days off in a row for me.
Oh no. Well, it's the whole thing is
the problem.
After this many days off, I went back to work with a refreshed hatred of what I do for a living, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had, it was not the best weekend at home. Unfortunately, we lost one of the dogs. It was unexpected. It was a bummer. Obviously, it's always a bummer when that happens.
Yeah.
It went as smoothly as it could have as far as that situation's concerned. Unfortunately, we found out he had a very aggressive cancer, and there was nothing we could really do. So, but he was calm and comfortable, and that's the most you can ask for an elder dog, I suppose, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
That's, unfortunate news,
sucks,
but
man.
How old was he?
News. He was 12 and a half.
Oh.
But yeah, I got him when he was 4.
Oh, wow.
I was going to say, he was the OG.
Yeah. So I got Joan as a puppy. I got him when he was 4, and he came to the top of Mount Washington with me on the revival rally. He was also my kayak dog. He was just real chill. So Cassie told me she brought Dakota in the kayak, and I'm like, I bet I could put one of the dogs in the kayak. I'm going to try it. And he was obviously like my go-to because he's pretty mellow, and he loved it. That was like his favorite thing. He'd just sit in the boat and chill for hours.
That's awesome.
No complaints. Never tried to jump out or anything. But yeah, it sucks. It's never easy. I'm thankful I have the other dogs.
Yeah.
They've definitely made me feel better. I feel bad for them too. They know something's up.
Oh yeah, they sure do.
But yeah, it's weird because normally we travel on Thanksgiving, not like far, but we're like somewhere else.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird. We were home on Thanksgiving all day. We were home like most of the day Friday. We were home essentially the entire weekend nonstop, which is rare for us. We always have shit going on. Yeah. And it's so crazy that it worked out that way because we were able to spend so much time with the dogs that weekend. So we spent a ton of time with him, and he was totally fine for most of it, which was great. So I am thankful for that. You know, it would have sucked if we were traveling or something and something happened. So
Yeah, for sure.
but yeah, you know, obviously it's just sad. We don't have to dig into this anymore, but you know, it went as good as it could, and he's a very good boy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my big news. I did start ripping apart the car since we last spoke to do the swap, so that's cool. That happened over that weekend as well.
Which one? Which car did you start ripping apart first?
The old car.
Yeah.
So my plan is to gut the old car and get it out of the way before I even take like a screw off the new car.
Yeah.
I don't want complete chaos in there, so I want to try to organize and clean all the parts before I disassemble both.
You don't need 3 non-working cars in the same garage.
No.
You watch your dirty horse mouth. How about 5? What's that
Yeah.
segue?
In other news, there's it's been shared. It's already out there, but the Luft Klassiker event that
right.
the Luft House gentlemen are arranging in Tiverton. I feel comfortable enough to say that it will be the premier air-cooled event of the East Coast. Indoor.
Definitely.
And
I believe the website is live.
I don't know if that's official.
And,
I don't know if it is, but I don't know if that's official yet.
Gotcha.
But it is, yeah. It exists. And so check out the Luft Klassiker Instagram page, link in bio. You can sign up for
after the new year there'll be a lot more
yeah.
concrete information coming out.
Yep. If anyone's interested in joining up at a sponsorship or vending level, you can reach out to Blake now. That's info@theluftklassiker.com, I believe. But all that info is on the Instagram. So hop on the Instagram, and I'll share it on the topics page again, too. That's in May 18th of 2025.
It is.
Any other callbacks before we get into our interview? Got like 5 minutes?
Yeah, about 5 minutes. You
Yeah.
guys, have you done any Christmas decorating yet?
We got our tree.
Yeah.
The kids do the tree, and like they go around the house and they put lights up in the house. It's like we have those little clear plastic hook clips that like stick to the seat, whatever. So we just leave them up there, and then they'll go around and put the lights up.
Nice.
We have done outside before. I think it's too late to do outside now. This is gonna be like 2 weeks. I'm gonna take it down.
I just did mine Sunday.
Yep.
That's kind of where I'm at with the outside stuff. We usually do. I did some outside. We usually do more, and I'm like, we're not gonna do like trimming the whole edge of the house with the lights and all that shit. It's a lot, and climbing on the ladder to take it down when it's like
It's the worst.
Yeah.
Because you can get it up when it's nice out. Like mid-November, like that. Usually, I mean, Thanksgiving fell late this year. It's usually earlier, so that gives us the extra weekend, which we usually do at Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah.
And it's nice out. Usually,
But then when it's
30s
like
and 40s, when it's 11 degrees in
Then
January,
when it's January 15th and you want to get the lights down, it's
Yeah.
like, what the fuck?
so every year I just pull and break all the tabs because I give them no shit.
And it's like, well, I could just put new command strips up next year.
Goddamn right. No,
And
I'm
then-
talking about the outside.
yeah. And then the day that I use command strips on the outside, the hooks.
Oh yeah.
I've been looking at those permanent ones. There's like the DIY permanent ones, but then there's these other ones called trim light that are in like a channel, like an aluminum channel. And I want to get those really bad and just be like a one and done, and you control it all from an app.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that'll be down the road thing. It's Mr. DJ. It's a great question. Are you guys real tree or fake tree? I am like way full-time, long-time fake tree guy because I've always had a ton of animals in the house, and animals want to pee on trees. So
We've never had that issue. That's funny. I just got a fake tree this year for the first time in my life. So, and it's easier on my wife. She's currently now allergic to pine.
Oh Jesus.
We learned like 3 years ago.
Well, that's problematic for Christmas time.
So she's the one always like watering the tree, and then her allergies bother her literally the whole month of December. So, but the tree we got looks really good. So
The fake trees now are way better. Like I grew up we had a fake tree growing up.
Yeah.
And you pulled it out, and it was like 6 branches. It looked like a Charlie Brown
it was
tree.
terrible, yeah.
And then when we started doing it, we went real.
Yeah.
And we had real trees for years. And then for a couple of years, we had fake ones. But now that Emma works at the nursery and they sell Christmas trees, nice little family discount and back to real ones.
Yeah, I think Jared paid like $115 for his tree.
The trees this year, the cheapest one I saw was $95.
Yeah. So yeah, I went fake for the first time, and actually I'm not regretting it. So, and it looks great.
Yeah, the new ones are much nicer. So we never had an issue with one of the animals actually peeing on the tree. It was more so just like an irrational fear.
Oh.
And now the cat really wants to.
Cats and Christmas trees do not mix.
Yeah, the cat just wants to be in the tree, which is a whole thing. Our guest has arrived. Want to dive on in?
Let's welcome him in.
Sounds good.
Hey, what's up, Matt?
Hey, what's up, guys?
How are you?
Hey, how
Can
we
you hear
doing?
me?
Yeah. Can you hear us okay?
Sweet. Yeah, let me know if I need to adjust any of my levels. Sorry, I'm just poking around here. I got my mic set to like almost full blast. If that's too loud, I can certainly take care of that too.
No, I think
it's fine.
I think that sounds good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'll see what someone says anything about YouTube. But
you can keep an eye on the YouTube chat. Our listeners were very quick to tell us when stuff sounds like shit. So, which is good.
My kind of people.
Yep, which is good.
Yeah.
So Matt, thanks so much for joining us tonight. We were really pumped to talk to you, and we got a ton of messages about. I made a post that you were coming on. A lot of people were excited to hear the interview. So,
again, my kind of people. I dig it. Thank you so much. No, I'm psyched, and I was binge listening to your show yesterday. You talk about a lot of like ghosts and weird stuff like that, which is right up my alley.
Nice. Yeah, cool. We do get into the paranormal stuff a lot. We like talking about just like sometimes what people would consider blue collar mundane stuff, but get into the weeds with it. And we like to take deep dives on things. And Mark and I were talking earlier, it reminded us kind of a lot of what you do with like the window washer segment you did, for instance, like stuff like that. I'm like, man, a window washer would be cool to have on the show. So stuff like that's really neat.
Totally. It's fascinating. I mean, I was probably with them for like 6 hours. Could have spent a solid couple days just learning the ropes, no pun intended. and just, I mean, they have stories. That's the thing. Some of the things they were telling me that they see inside of the windows.
Oh, I can't even imagine.
I was specifically told not to say those things, and I think it would have been an FCC violation if I had said those things. Like both good and bad stuff. Let's leave it at that.
Yeah, I can imagine. So I guess like rewinding a bit, I know you went to Emerson, right?
Yes, I did.
And I assume for some journalism in some capacity?
No. That's the funny thing about my path is journalism is a relatively new thing for me. I studied audio and radio at Emerson College.
Okay.
I always wanted to be on the radio. But mostly my mind was like music, right? I wanted to be the cool rock jock. I was like, yeah, that's totally going to be a job in 2024.
Yeah. Like BCN morning host or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Get on the morning Zoom.
And,
yeah.
The pandemic kind of killed off a few more of whatever jobs in that field were left, including my own. And, WBZ News Radio was hiring. So after a few months of chilling at home, living off severance and maybe a little bit of unemployment too, and working, doing some podcasts, I was producing podcasts kind of like freelance, just picking up money wherever I could.
Cool.
Anyways, WBZ called me. I started doing the job. I loved it. I didn't think I had what it took at first. I was like, I don't know. This is like, I've never been a reporter before. And they were like, yeah, but, we have enough people in the newsroom who are like your typical journalists with a capital J. We want someone who can think different, and you're a radio guy. You have a creative mind. We like that. We want you to try to come in here and mix it up a little bit. And I was like, okay, let's go. I'm sold. And I'm glad I took it because it's been the best job I've ever had.
Awesome.
I feel like you have put so much information in front of people that would have never found it any other way. When you think about like especially young, like I'm going on 40, and you picture people in their 20s and like the college kids that all know like Reporter Matt, and it's obviously people that probably aren't listening to WBZ radio necessarily on the radio, but they're seeing it in social media. So I know, like initially, was getting you to do these reels part of the initial plan, or were you more so supposed to be on the radio only?
No, yeah, it was radio only for at least the first like year. And then my boss called me and said, hey, we're starting a TikTok account. I'm like, great, have fun. He's like, no, we want you to do it. Like, I don't have time for that. I was like, I don't even have my own personal TikTok account. Plus, like, what I had seen from other brands in the market on TikTok was like, you know, they were trying to do the trends. You know, you have like everyone in your old newsroom like dancing and pointing to words on the screen. And I was like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to just do all, you know, because then it will look like that old meme. It's like, hello, fellow kids.
Exactly.
We're this like 101-year-old newsroom at the time.
Like, I don't even know how to floss. This isn't going to work.
Yeah, exactly. Trying to make an AM radio newsroom look cool, I think, was a major uphill battle. But I was like, you know what these platforms are all about is like telling compelling stories in a short amount of time. And like, that's what we do on the air. For those who've never listened to WBZ News Radio, it's like watching a local TV news broadcast, right? We have anchors thrown out to reporters in the field, reporting the facts, sending it back. We're not like the kind of pundit type radio station where we have, I don't like this, I don't like that. Yeah. You know, it's just like reporting the news. Yeah. And I was like, well, why can't we just adapt that for social media? And so in the beginning, it was very just B-roll heavy, right? It was just taking the audio from the radio and slapping random video on top of it. But then as time went on, I experimented and played around and kind of had to learn video editing and video filming and capturing on the fly.
Which is, for people who don't do it, it is like so time consuming. And I don't think people understand how like when I see how you edit these videos and you know, where you do mix in the B-roll footage and stuff, it takes a lot of time to nail it. And obviously there's better software now than there was years ago, but it's still really time consuming, even to make a 30-second video.
Exactly. My videos usually fall around like 2 minutes, which is like, like Lawrence of Arabia, except on social media form, you know, like, oh, you need to sit through a 2-minute long video. That's why it's really important for me to make sure that it's compelling from start to finish, you know, like that. I hook them in and actually deliver, and there's no seconds wasted. If they're going to be sitting with me for 2 minutes, it's got to be worth their time, because literally the whole world is at their fingertips. And if they get bored, and be like, all right, I've had enough of this video, on to Wordle, whatever, you know, like onto whatever they want to watch on their phone. And like you said, it's very time consuming to capture enough of that footage, because in order to get all of those seconds worth of valuable footage, you have to actually spend a lot of time looking for it. And, you know, so maybe I'll spend like 5 hours at a location filming stuff for a 2-minute long video.
Yeah. And I know some of your videos start out with like, you know, I think it was Foxborough, like you didn't find someone to talk to for a while. And it's like in the video for 10 seconds, you talk about not finding someone to talk to. You could have spent 2 hours there before you found somebody to talk to you.
Yeah, 100%. And that's the thing that a lot of people, I think, you know, in the TikTok generation, you know, the TikTok world, there's a lot of people trying what we used to call man on the street audio, right? Person on the street audio, which is where you go out and you just put a microphone in front of someone's face and hope that they can be funny for you, because you're not that funny.
Yeah.
You know, but the thing is, it's a lot harder than that. You can't just expect to find these gems, being like, what's the craziest thing you've done in the bedroom? You know, like you have to actually like, it's a skill. There's a skill to actually having a conversation with somebody and engaging with them. And one of the most important things, one of the most important parts of that skill or aspects of that skill is actually investing the time, like being willing to spend an hour or two out there looking for that one really compelling person who can say something that you never could have come up with on your own. That, you know, because it's so obvious to tell what's staged on social media these days because things just seem a little too perfect, you know, and like, hey, can I ask you a quick question? Oh yeah, sure. No problem. Let me just stop everything I'm doing and talk to you.
Yeah, you can definitely come to my house. Like, yeah.
I happen to be wearing a lavalier mic too. Incredible. So I don't know, man. It's a skill, and the only way to learn it is to actually get out there and do it. I'm a big believer in learning by doing.
So were you like initially not receptive to that idea? Like when they told you like do the TikTok thing and go out on the street, like did you learn to love it, or was it tough at first?
No. So doing stuff out on the street is definitely something I had a lot of experience with. Prior to doing this, I was working for like a top 40 morning show.
You were a producer for like a top 40 show. Was it 103.3 or something before?
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. So I was like the executive producer of that show and also kind of like a third mic character voice. And I was the guy who was mostly out on the street doing a lot of like the comedy bits and the street bits. And at the time it was very like funny stuff. Like we were trying to find funny gems, you know, whereas like now it's news. So, you know, just trying to get people's takes, but I still want to get really interesting takes. But the point being, I had a lot of experience going up to strangers on the street, and I had a lot of experience getting rejected on the street too. So that's the biggest thing. A lot of young people ask me like, oh, well, how do you get people to talk to you? And you just do it. And people are going to tell you no, and that's fine. That's normal. Like people have places to be. So that wasn't a huge adjustment for me.
That's good.
It takes a special personality to be able to just cold call someone on the street.
I think so.
You know, I could never do it. That's not the way I'm built.
I think knowing that people are going to say no is the big thing. It's like you have to be ready for 10 people to say no to get that one person that's worth talking to.
Exactly. You don't get your hopes up. You don't put every person on a pedestal and be like, oh my gosh, this is it. This is my moment. This is my person, because you're just setting yourself up to be doomed. I will also say having a microphone really helps a lot. Yeah. You know, it's like, because then people can kind of fill in the blanks with what you're doing. If you're just walking up to someone on the street with no microphone, hey, can we talk? Can I talk to you for a second?
Yeah.
Definitely shouldn't whisper.
Like all these people on TikTok just doing it with
a phone,
just their phone. Yeah. Hey, can I film you real quick? I want to film you on my cell phone. You don't know what that's for, but like where I'm holding a microphone that says WBZ News Radio, and let's be real, that microphone is in the videos more than I am. That microphone is more famous than I am. So people see the microphone and like, you know, if they've seen my videos before, then they know. So that helps a lot too.
Yep. So as far as the radio and the videos are concerned now, are you doing like these man on the street videos full time now, or are you still doing some radio segments with it? Or how does like say a town segment that you post on TikTok and Instagram translate to what goes on the radio for it afterwards?
Yeah, that's a great question. Early on, I was just kind of taking like the best of my radio stories and adapting them to social media. And now it's sort of over time flipped to be the exact opposite. I'm taking like the best of what I do on social media and putting it on the radio. But you're right that with every video I make, there is some radio element to it. And you specifically asked about like the town videos. How does that translate? Because that's a great question. It's very visual, and like, you know, those stories are like very long form, and we have to keep it nice and short and tight on the radio. I'll usually just focus on one element of the story. Okay. Like, for example, when I went to Weymouth the other day, you know, I found all kinds of interesting people and places. But for the radio version, I just focused on the donut shop where the manager is the dental hygienist.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was super interesting. You know, like you don't need to see it, but there's all kinds of cool sounds associated with it. And this is where my audio production background kind of kicks in, because I love sitting in front of Pro Tools, the audio editing platform, and just having all these little sounds and kind of like putting together a piece that really immerses somebody with me wherever I am, right? Paint the picture for somebody who can't see it. Yeah. Like I have, I'm in a donut shop. Okay, so I want the sounds of like the donuts bubbling in whatever, like the fryolator or whatever it is. And like, I want the sounds of like the cash register and the people sitting and eating, just like the the ambiance. Like I love building out soundscapes like that.
Yeah, especially when you're thinking in the mind of radio, you can really immerse someone in a place with sounds. It's, you know, expanding on those senses when you're only using a couple. So
totally, we call it theater of the mind. And I always like to say, there's the old saying that a picture is worth 1,000 words. But if that's true, and everybody listening to a sound is forming a different picture in their mind, then a sound is worth 1,000,000 words.
That's true.
Very interesting.
True.
I like that.
That's a
There
good
you
point.
go. And I swear I do not smoke marijuana.
That actually reminds me of that segment you did on color blindness, the color blindness awareness video you did. So obviously, I won't say obviously because a lot of people had no idea what it was, but I have an idea of what it was. But you managed to take like a 1.5-minute video and teach me so much that I didn't know about it, and I would never seek it out. But just scrolling, it popped up one day, and seeing those like side-by-side comparisons of what you see versus someone who doesn't have color blindness sees was like so eye-opening. You hear it described, but actually seeing like a diagram of it was really neat. And hearing what people think it was hilarious.
Well, my son is colorblind.
Oh, really?
He's colorblind. Yeah.
Yeah, you should. I don't know if you caught that one. I'll send it to you.
You'll have to send me that. I didn't catch that one specifically.
Yeah, I mean, because you hear, I don't know, you couldn't imagine that someone on the street could possibly think that like they are invisible to me because they are not a white person. But that happened. Sure enough. I met somebody who's like, you can see my hand waving in front of you, right? I'm like, yeah, I can see your hand, buddy. Or the other guy who said, I'm not colorblind, but I am colorblind. I don't see. And then he pointed to a person of color, and he's like, I don't see race. I'm like, you literally just pointed to that guy. So.
You obviously do.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, the last line, it was like a young girl, like, is there anything that you wish you could see? And it's like, the blood of my enemies. Yeah. That was brilliant.
Oh, yeah. But her reaction is what got me to that, because she was just like, oh, wait, that's a cool answer. That's a really cool answer.
That's great.
Great.
Ryan Lavery in the chat said, skipped Braintree, ? You haven't done a Braintree video, have you?
No, I haven't gone. I mean, I've been to Braintree for various stories, but I've never done like a deep dive on the town, exploring, try to find something cool. Yep. I should set that up for those who have no idea. So one popular series I do is where I just show up in a random town and try to find something cool. And the way that came about is somebody commented on a video one time, go to Bellingham, try to find something cool. And I was like, well, that's the worst pitch I've ever heard, and I am going to do it.
Yeah.
I told my the people in the meeting, I was like, the editors, I was like, I think I want to do this. And they were like, okay, Matt, I have no idea what you're talking about, but sure, go for it. Have fun. And I took that as a challenge, and, it went over really well. So I was like, this could be a series. I could do this in every town, because every comment was like, come to my town, come to my town. So at this point, just about every town possible has been requested. And so I always put in the caption, by request, going to this town, because it's true. Every town's been requested. I'm not sitting around waiting for somebody to say, hey, go to my town. It's like, I'll get to it eventually. There's 300 something towns in Massachusetts.
Yeah,
so
you'll get there. I think your approach just makes it, you really can't find a town that doesn't have something or somebody interesting.
Nice longevity for the series.
Yeah.
On the contrary, there is one town where I failed to find something cool, so I have not posted the video yet, because I think I want to go back and give it a second chance, because if it's there, I mean, there have been towns where I've gone to before and kind of joked around about the fact that there's like nothing really to do there.
Yeah.
But like, at least, I can do so in like a fun, engaging way.
One of my favorite ones is the Attleboro one. It's the intro's hilarious.
Oh,
it's like, it's fine.
You're just standing in the mall parking lot. Yeah.
No. It turns into like a Tex Berries episode, which is great. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I met that amazing guy, Steve.
Oh,
too,
Steve's the best
character.
A couple people messaged me today and said, you should try to get Steve on the show next.
Well, I'll give you a little teaser right now for something. I'm working on something in the next couple of weeks that may or may not involve Steve.
Awesome. That's exciting.
I'm in touch with him. We're trying to set it up. Yeah. He may make a return, but I love the fact that you remember him, because that's something that I do love to bring to my stories, is like meeting these people and like really kind of getting to know them. And, there are these people who may not ever have their story told otherwise, but like they're interesting people and they've got interesting things to say, everyday people. And then why not bring them back every once in a while when they're fun? People once you get to know somebody, you don't want to just say, okay, bye forever. You know, we live in a world where that doesn't happen as much anymore. If you meet someone interesting, you can follow them on social media and then you're friends forever. And it's like 10 years later, you're like, oh, Facebook tells me it's this person that I sat next to on the bus's birthday that one time. Do I wish them a happy birthday? I don't know. But yeah, so I love, and this is something I'm proud of too, is just bringing back these recurring characters in these videos.
Yeah.
You know, that's something that no one else is really doing in news, but I don't know. I like to. It's fun for me. I like people.
Steve was a really memorable one for sure. Yeah. The other thing I wanted to ask you about was I know you did like the Boston College pizza tour. I think that was a brilliant concept.
Thank you. Yeah, that was trying a slice of pizza at every dining hall for a college campus in Boston and creating a tier list. Thank you. That was fun. Yeah, and also really, really hard to eat that much pizza.
I can imagine. That was a cool idea. And then the thing that made me think of that episode in particular was I saw you had shared a story, and there was like a college that had this like it was almost like a confession board, like anonymous account they made, and there was like a bunch of stuff about What was the story with that?
Okay, so on my tier list, my last place ranked school was Simmons University, and I felt terrible about that because that's an all-girls school, and I was so worried people were going to think I was being sexist and I was going to get canceled and stuff. But the amazing thing was just about everyone from Simmons was like, yeah, he's right, our pizza
it's
sucks.
really bad.
Most of the schools that I ranked highly on that list, people were mad at me for ranking them so high. They're like, what are you talking about? Our pizza sucks. So it was good. I'm like, you know what? You have to understand, I'm comparing this pizza to other dining halls, not like Regina's or something like that.
Right, yeah.
So, so Simmons, I definitely blew up Simmons social media with my take that their pizza was the worst cafeteria pizza in Boston. And there was an anonymous confessions account on Instagram where people were sending in their thoughts on me. You know, there were people who like me and what I do and were like, oh, Matt Shearer came to campus. He doesn't like our pizza. Oh my gosh. Other people who had no idea who I was like, Matt Shearer, who the hell is that? He can kiss my ass. Our pizza. So I actually printed up one of those comments. Who the hell is Matt Shearer? He can kiss my ass on a t-shirt.
That's great.
Yeah. I just have to be careful when to wear that. Like I was about to put it on this morning. It's like, oh no, I got to drop my kid off at preschool. He walked in.
The other, speaking of shirts, there is another thing from one of your segments that became a shirt. That's pretty cool. This is actually the segment that initially turned me onto your page in the first place. So, I like going to hardcore shows and stuff and have a bunch of friends in bands, and I saw a ton of people reposting this video of your Brockton segment. And you met Colin of Arabia at as like a chicken restaurant, right? Yeah.
So something I got to clear up, this comes up a lot. People wondering, like, was he just randomly in this chicken restaurant?
Yeah.
No, he had DM'd me because I had been planning on going to Brockton, and he was like, "Oh, you know, I'm doing a show that day. Like, you want to come to this?" I was like, "Okay, well." So we met. Yes, we met at the chicken restaurant.
Yeah.
But we met. I should have said we met up at the chicken restaurant.
Yep. I get you. But yeah, that was such a cool segment, and thinking about a segment like that. Now, did any of that carry over to radio? But even just the fact that, you know, on a WBZ social media platform that it was on there is just so cool to think about. It's like, it's just awesome to see, you know, everything from Tex Berries to a hardcore show, right. On this page. It's really, really neat.
Thanks, and it's fun, and it's fun to explore those things that you would never expect, right? Like, I don't ever want to make the same video twice, which is why, like, this week I did kind of a depressing true crime story. You know?
The Prada sign on that abandoned building story and everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Which starts out like kind of.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
The one in Saugus.
Up on Route 1? Exactly. Yeah, it starts out as like a fun story, but there's been this myth about that building going around the internet for a while that it's connected to a a mysterious death, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah.
So I wanted to kind of clear up that rumor, and in order to do so, needed to address it head on. And so, yeah, that was a heavy topic. Somebody actually just DM'd me a few minutes ago being like, why was this the first one I went to show my 11-year-old daughter? We couldn't make it through the whole video. I was like, I promise he usually makes funny videos. But yeah, so like when you open it up and you see, oh, Brockton, interesting. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, he's at a hardcore show. Like, I love that reaction.
Yeah.
I want people to never let them know your next move.
Yep. I go to even like the Texberries one. I go there like every couple of weeks at least for work. And I was talking to Arthur, the guy there, about it. He was like, oh yeah, people come in and talk about that all the time.
And he did not want to be interviewed, which bums me out a little bit, but that's okay. We've left more time to talk to Steve, so we're good.
Yep, exactly. He's shy. I've been going there for years, and he like barely talks to me now. But that's part of the charm of the place.
Nice. I get it. He was busy. I'm not mad. He was cool.
Yep.
I get it.
No, makes sense. So I guess now looking at it, how long have you been at WBZ now?
Since September of 2020, so just over 4 years.
All right, so now 4 years in, obviously the trajectory of what you're doing has changed. And like you said, it flipped. You're doing more video, and a little bit of that carries into radio. And obviously your major was more audio production. This isn't what you expected, I imagine.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
The weirdest thing about it right now is like all these doors that are suddenly opening up that weren't there before. You know, being in this business, which is really competitive and a really competitive market, I've been so used to like begging for jobs my whole career. And now that things have kind of taken off, I have people asking me to come work for them, which is really cool and super flattering. I don't take these offers because I'm under contract with BZ, and they treat me really well. But it's nice to know that if things change down the line, that I have other opportunities waiting.
Yeah, and I think that says a lot about what you're doing, because let's face it, the medium is changing. The way people listen to radio is changing. So it's kind of a scary thing. It's the same thing with print media. In the last 10 years, if you were going into print media, it's changed drastically. If you're a designer and you don't do web stuff, it's a weird market. For radio, there's streaming stuff. For TV, there's streaming stuff and not cable networks anymore. So it's it's good to, I guess, be on the cutting edge of it. And it seems like you are, and you've kind of made the name of this for yourself. So it's pretty awesome to see.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, what you're talking about is kind of the adaptation of traditional media into this new world of media. And it goes back to what I was saying before about how people have the world at their fingertips at all times. You can't expect on the radio that we have this captive audience in the car anymore, right? Because suddenly the cars are connected to the internet too. And, we just have to understand that anytime we crack the mic and do something, it has to be better than all the other alternatives out there. That's the bar. The bar just keeps going up and up and up. And, that doesn't mean that radio, TV, or newspapers are dying. It just means the way people engage with them is changing. And we need to be willing to change with it and not dig our heels in and be like, no, this is the way we've been doing it for 75 years. This is how we're going to continue to do it because this is what works. It's like, no, maybe listen to some of the younger people in the newsroom who, engage with media the way the rest of their generation does, and maybe try some new ideas and see what works.
I think the fact that WBZ embraced the social media the way they did to even talk to you about doing what you're doing with it now is really interesting, because technology is great. And even like what we are doing, it's like, I love to do this and it's fun. But also, like, everybody, giving everybody a platform, is it a blessing or a curse,
Yeah.
It's a weird thing,
I mean, it's absolutely both, right? Like, the internet has brought together and amplified the voices of marginalized communities who've been kind of shut down for years and years by traditional media or whatever else. But it also has amplified flat earthers. So, you've got to kind of take the good with the bad, I guess.
Yeah. And people's attention span so short to fact check. Nobody,
right.
The first thing they read is the fact, whether it's a fact or not.
Well, that's exactly why it was so important for me to do this like true crime story this past week at Prada in Saugus, because there was a video that went viral by a friend of mine, Elena Pinto, who's a really, really good lifestyle influencer here in town, where she literally all it was just a quick shot of her driving by the Prada store, and it got millions and millions of views. And I was looking at the comments, and sure enough, it was all full of people telling that false story, the myth about its connection to the late Valerie Fiorenza. And so I wanted to clear that up, and yeah, because it's just amazing. Everyone got that information from maybe something else they saw on social media, or maybe literally just a comment in the comment section.
Yeah,
that's a scary thing in the news world, man. That's something that we talk about all the time. Being in
like, what if you break a story and then all of a sudden, the information was wrong? It's like you got to, how do you fact check a person that told you something? It's tough.
Yeah, and that's why it's tricky, and it's more important than ever to be wary of, to be mindful of your sources, because literally anybody can open up TikTok and just say something that they read in a comment and everyone will believe it. Whereas we have a few more steps that we need to take in a newsroom, where we need to verify those facts. We need to, obtain documents that can back us up and, talk to people who know things. So it's tough.
Yeah, and you want to obviously break the story first. I mean, that's probably still the goal of most news outlets, but where's the line of breaking it first and making sure it's accurate?
In my mind, accuracy is more important. I think so. I mean, I definitely understand that every newsroom wants to be able to brag about, we were the first to bring you this story, and you're probably going to get the most views. But I also am a big believer that you could do you could do the better telling of the story, or you could tell it from an angle that none of the other stations are exploring. This happens to me sometimes, where I show up to cover a story and there are like 2 or 3 other reporters there, and I'm like, great, we're all going to be talking about the same thing. And I instantly think, how can I tell this story in a way that I know none of them are going to tell it, so that my story will be better than theirs, even if theirs is quicker? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just trying to take a different angle, and I think that's really the best approach.
It's interesting that your mind works that way, especially with going into school for audio production. It's like, when did you first realize, like, maybe I want to do more than audio production? Like, I know you said you were like an on-air personality in your producer role as well. Did that kind of come by accident as well, or how did that all fall into place?
I've always kind of been into sort of creative stuff, like, and on and off the air. Like what I play music. I played in bands, and I really love skateboarding. And I honestly, growing up skateboarding is a huge part of the reason I am where I am, both in a very direct sense and an indirect sense. So directly, because there was a radio station in my high school we had. It was like a tiny little thing that broadcasted to like the cafeteria and the parking lot, and that was it.
You're from Acton, is it?
Correct. Yeah. Acton, at Acton Boxborough Regional High School. And my friends and I, my little clique freshman year was the skater kids, and we're sitting around at the table, and there was a flyer to work at the radio station, and we decided we were going to start a talk show about skateboarding. And so we did that, and I ended up loving it and continued to be in radio. But the other thing is, I don't know if any of you guys have ever been into skateboarding too, but like, it rewires your brain so that everywhere you go in the world, you see it a little bit differently than everybody else. Where somebody might just see, like, I don't know, a loading dock, you see like, oh, I wonder if I could backside flip into the ramp, like right there. Like, I wonder if I could do, like, you're trained everywhere you go to just see a little bit different than everyone else. And so in that sense, when I go to create a video, when I go to tell a story on the radio, or even if I'm just in a producer role, I want to do it just a little different. So I think that's where it comes from.
That's cool.
Wow. Very cool. Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, I know people. A lot of people like expect. I don't know. Sometimes they watch my videos and they're like, oh man, this guy's going to be funny. And it's like, no, I don't know. I think about this stuff in a weird sort of abstract sense in the world. And
well, I think that's what makes
my brain really work.
That's what makes it interesting, though. And I think finding a way to captivate a viewer to watch that whole 2 minutes, 2 minutes doesn't sound long when we're talking about it now, but when you picture, just doom scrolling your phone, sitting through a 2 minute video is a long time. And it's that first, whatever you say, that first, 5 or 10 seconds, make it, funny or witty or like, that's like that Attleboro one. It's like the quick clips of the people going like, it's fine. Yeah, it's whatever, and then like the trash in the woods, like a water bottle on a tree, like a community that loves fine art. Yeah. It's like, just like funny shit like that. And that's what grabs you.
You're right. I mean, you say 5 or 10 seconds, dude. It is way shorter than that.
Yeah, it's like 2
you
seconds.
Gotta hook them. Yeah, literally every video. And I try not to obsess about the analytics and stuff too, because I don't want to play the numbers game, because then you're just doing math. I want to but I do every once in a while open it up, and you can see every video, no matter what the video, no matter how compelling the intro is, it starts off really high and then like starts to dip. And sometimes those dips are stronger than others. Like sometimes it dips off a little slower than others. And then there's like a moment where it all just drops, and you can look and analyze, well, what did I say in that exact moment that made everyone suddenly tune out?
Yeah. Or was there an awkward pause or something?
Yeah. Yeah. So like the opening shot and your opening words are so important. And sometimes I get it wrong. Sometimes I think, oh, this is going to hook them, and I'm just totally wrong. But you also have to be ready to deliver. Like, you can't just have a really compelling opening line or something, and then the rest of the video is completely different or unrelated. Like, it has to actually have kind of like a natural flow to it. So, yeah. And I think in the case of like one of those town videos, like you say, Attleboro, that's why it's so important to open every single video with the sign of the town. So people who are from that general area will see it and be like, okay, that's my area. What's going on here? And then they'll stick around. Like what I'm saying with that shot is these are the people who I want to watch this video. People from Attleboro and all the surrounding towns. And then anyone else who wants to stick around for it, awesome.
And I think, like you said, that having something after that in opening line is important too, like the tempo of it. It's like you need to keep it moving at that same rate, because as soon as it slows down and it gives someone the opportunity to skip to the next story or whatever, they're going to do it.
Yeah, totally.
Yep. And as far as like editing it, like you're filming stuff on your phone, and you have a camera crew with you too as well, right? Or you have a camera guy at least? No?
Nope. It's all me.
Just you?
Wow, kidding.
Just me. Yeah, every once in a while, I'll have like a trainee with me, like another reporter who's learning, and I can have them help me out. Or honestly, sometimes what I do is if there's just somebody nearby, like the person I'm interviewing's friend, I'll be like, "Hey, can you film this real quick?"
Yeah.
And I'll hand it to them. Pop the thing on a tripod. I always tell people like, "Oh yeah, I'll make you a producer in the credits," but there are no credits.
Nailed it.
But yeah, I literally have in Boston before, just like somebody walking down the street been like, "Hey, can you film me real quick?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And I'll just go stand in the street and like get my shot and be like, "Okay, thank you." Take my phone and walk away.
Yeah, well, the WBZ's never going to let you go. I mean, you're doing 3 people's jobs. Yeah, and the way you edit it, you would just fully assume that there's at least one camera person.
Yeah, we talked about that on the way here.
Yeah, like there's got to be somebody following around. That's hilarious.
Thank you.
Wow,
no, that's great. If it feels larger than life, I know. I love seeing in the comments too, being like, "Wow, whoever edited this for Matt is doing a great job." Props to the editor. And I want to just chime in and be like, "Thank you," but I can only kiss my own ass so many times.
Man, one of your videos you mentioned that you like making the connection with the local people and everything, and you said most journalists try to stay away from doing that. Why is that? Why wouldn't they want to make that connection like you do?
Yeah, I don't know. I think in journalism school, you're taught to keep yourself out of the story as much as possible and not really like influence the people and not like develop a relationship with them that could be considered, I don't know, against journalistic standards. But like,
I guess like the idea of it giving you a bias in the story.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know, man. Sometimes I like to kind of break those rules a little bit. Like,
I feel like with what you're covering too, it doesn't matter if you have a bias for somebody telling you about a town.
What you've been doing, it works out. It's obviously been working out great, and I think a connection's a key thing. Like, I rather be talking to someone or interviewing me that, shows interest or not just like a robotic.
And all of that, are you going to open up to someone someone that you have a cold relationship with, or somebody that you're mildly comfortable with? You're going to open up more.
Yeah.
So
exactly. And that's another part. I've talked about this before too, where I feel like I'm at a great advantage being by myself and not having like a big lighting setup or a giant camera. It's far less intimidating when a dude in a plain black t-shirt shows up with a microphone. And it's just like, hey, can we just chat? And I'm making eye contact. People ask me sometimes when I have to book interviews in advance, they'll be like, can you send me the questions in advance? I'm like, no, because I don't even know what the questions are in advance. There are no questions in advance. Like, we're going to have a conversation. Like,
people ask us that all the time, all the time.
Oh,
and I'm
yeah,
like,
exactly.
I don't know what I'm
believe
going to ask you. Yeah.
Yeah. What are we going to talk about? I don't know. Let's just see where the conversation goes.
Yeah. Talk about having imposter syndrome when we have people like coming from far away. Like we had like Andrea Perrin, like the woman from the Conjuring house come on. And it's like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And same thing. I was like, do we have a list of questions? I'm like, no.
Not really.
Exactly, but that's good, I think, because then you're fueled by your own curiosity.
Yep.
And if you have like this is something I tell to a lot of young people getting into the biz and my trainees, like if you have this list of questions in front of you, I understand early on it's nice to have like that as kind of a crutch in case you're like really nervous. But the problem is you're not going to be really listening to what the person is saying. You're just going to be waiting for them to be done talking so that you can get to your next question. And when you're listening to what you're saying, then you know where to go with the follow-ups and really get down and deep. And that's where the really good stuff comes.
Yeah. And without active listening in that way, you might have never gone down that road. So
totally.
Yeah.
And it's like that with when I show up in a town and I, try to find something cool. It's like the less research I do in advance, the better usually, because then, I find something and it surprises me and excites me. And if I'm getting really excited about it, I know that the people that I'm sharing it with are going to be excited too.
I can't wait for the Middleborough video when he talks about how it's the second largest town in the state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that true?
That's a fact.
That is a fact.
That's a fact.
And how many? Tell them all the other facts you know about Middleborough.
Oh, there's not many.
That's it.
Make my video for me.
There's
Right
a cars and coffee once a month in the summertime.
Our friends that do some ghost hunting did an investigation at this Oliver Estate house in Middleborough, and they actually used the clip from the podcast of me saying it's the second largest town in the state.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And they told the woman who like watches the house, like, did you know this is the second largest town in Massachusetts? She's like, no, I have no idea. Like, it's true though.
That makes me want to know. Now I really want to know what the number one largest town
Plymouth.
in the state is. Is it really?
Yep, it's Plymouth. Yep, not population-wise, land-wise. Yep.
Right, that makes sense. For a long time, Framingham had some bragging. That's where I live. Had some bragging rights in that part. I think it was maybe population-wise. It was the largest town, not just in Massachusetts, but in America, population-wise, that was not a city.
Oh, okay.
But that all ended about 5-6 years ago when we officially became a city. So now we don't have that. But it's okay. We have a mayor, so that's cool, I guess.
Yeah, very exciting.
They, us, yeah.
That's what I found. Like this is something I learned moving to Framingham is like the difference between city and town governments. And I feel like as a local journalist, that's probably something I should have known in the first place. But literally, it's just like the structure of your government. It's like, do you have a town meeting or do you have like a city council, right?
Yeah,
and a mayor. And that's it. That's literally the only difference.
Well, that's like when you try to explain the difference of like a commonwealth versus a state to people, and it's like, I don't even really know the difference, but I know it makes things way more of a pain in the ass. Yeah, because every town can do whatever they want.
I know it means we're better than everyone else.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah.
Well, no, it was funny because Ann went to town meeting. Years ago, we moved to Westport. She went to town meeting, and they're talking about taking votes, and I was like, "Well, what do they do?" She's like, "You literally put your hand up and they count you."
Oh yeah.
I'm like, "That's not real. They have like a ballot or something, right?" She's like, "No,
Nope.
hands up and they count you." I'm like, "Well, that's
my God.
wild."
If you ever look up like how an Iowa caucus works, it's crazy. It's literally just like, okay, so if you're voting for this person, go stand over there. And if you're voting for this person, go stand over there. Like literally, that's it.
And Iowa's one of those big old states that makes a big difference, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. The first, I'm pretty sure. Well, no. So New Hampshire is the first primary, but I think the Iowa caucus comes before that. Yeah. So people use it as like a predictor of what's to come. It's crazy.
That's yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to get all political.
No, it's
on
fine.
it.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't have to be. But
It's just so sad because we have the technology.
as far as we come with technology,
Yeah.
and we're literally putting people on one side of the room and the other. Like,
It's just
that's
easier.
unbelievable.
It's just easier.
Is it though?
I know. There's got to be an app for that.
Yeah.
But people don't trust technology either. So
The problem is
true.
right now the people going to the town meetings can't handle using an app.
well, the other
That's not true
part,
because
True.
yeah.
well,
Well,
Right?
that and the people that are actually complaining about the problems in their town are on a town Facebook group and they're not going to the town
that's
meetings.
just a
Right,
cesspool.
yeah.
So, that's the other
Yeah,
thing.
the town Facebook group is where the real discourse happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
You could probably
town
do it.
meetings are too formal and
Yeah.
slow, and you have to actually, be in line, and somebody can bang a gavel and say, "Okay, order."
Oh, you could
Facebook,
probably
man,
you
it's
could
a
probably pre-produce multiple
I
episodes
was
just
gonna
on
say,
some.
there's a new series where you go to moderate the town Facebook group.
Yeah, exactly.
There is a guy on TikTok. Nobody cares, Anthony. I interviewed him a while back. He's funny. His
Yeah,
whole
he-
shtick
he's
is
actually-
he just reads town Facebook stuff.
Yeah, he went to the high school that Mark and I went to actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's from
Nice.
BR. Yep.
Yeah, and I had a connection with him too. I used to work with his cousin, just random.
Oh,
This
wow.
is what I love about Massachusetts. It's
Yeah,
like,
you used to work. You used to work with my aunt, Marjorie.
Really? Who?
Marjorie.
No way!
Yeah.
She's your aunt?
Yeah.
Oh
so,
my gosh.
Yeah, so
She is the sweetest. I love her.
Yeah, removed now, but yeah, we're still cool. She's awesome.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah,
Yep,
no,
so-
she's really great. And I honestly, so that was my first full-time salary gig out of college. Was I was producing a talk radio show with Jim Browdy and Marjorie Egan at the old 96.9 FM Talk
Yep.
before it became Hot 96.9. Excuse me, I'm burping.
Oh, yeah,
But like, I don't know. I was this overconfident kid coming out of college. Like, I know everything. I can work in the world. And I don't know. Marjorie just really gave me a chance and believed in me. And so that, it's nice to have people like that,
Yep.
Yeah. You get what I'm saying.
For sure. When I was younger, I never understood the gravity of what she did and the show and stuff. And I meet people years and years and years later talking about her show, and it's still huge for people. It's really cool to hear.
Yeah, for those who don't know, she's currently on an NPR affiliate here in town, GBH, and her and Jim are still doing their thing. They have people call in, share opinions, they bring on experts, but they approach it in a very, I guess, measured way. They're most talk radio shows. When you think talk radio, I think people think of a certain political
Rush
affiliation.
Limbaugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But they do it in a much more balanced and open-minded way, which is cool.
Yeah, and that's pretty refreshing in today's news market.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Amen
Everything's
to that.
cool and chill, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing going on.
Yeah, nothing polarizing at all.
I know. It's wild.
Yeah, I guess with that said, I mean, it must be pretty cool to be able to do what you do and not be caught up in that stuff. A lot of people in the industry right now, especially this year,
Even if they
are
don't want to
stuck
be
covering that kind of stuff.
Yeah, totally, man. Early on when I started this job, I was just a general assignment reporter. I would go where they needed me to go. If that was a press conference at the State House, okay. If that was a protest, all right, I'll go there.
Yeah, if it's if it's interviewing the manager of a cat litter factory, whatever it is, you just do what you got to do.
I'm not
You know?
doing a
Yeah.
goddamn
Yeah,
cat
you
story.
take it.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
kind of committed to myself in my mind. I was like, I'm going to show them that this fun stuff is sort of my niche, and I'm going to carve this little niche out for myself. And, I've developed this good rapport with the newsroom where they just kind of trust me to do what I do. And I feel good about that, knowing that we have some excellent political reporters in our newsroom who can handle the heavier stuff. And I can go out and have fun and know that we're still being a good, responsible newsroom.
That was actually going to be one of my questions that I just, didn't come up. As far as approval on stories, what you post versus what goes on the radio, obviously they have saying what goes on the radio, but say you're going to do a town segment, do you have to run it by them before you post it, or, how does that work?
I mean, early on in the very beginning, I ran it by my boss, but it got to the point where things just started taking off, and they just kind of trust me to do it now.
That's cool.
Which Yeah, which is great. Only like once, I think, ever have they asked me to take something down.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And that was not because they didn't approve of it. It was because it created a major headache with an advertiser of the radio station.
Yeah.
And, you know, they defended me. Like, they will defend me all day on that stuff. Like, you know, we're not beholden to this. Like, we need to not care what the advertisers think because we're a newsroom. You know, we can't let other companies win positive press with their dollars.
Yeah.
And really the story, but what we ultimately decided was the story just didn't matter in the first place. And the guy was creating a stink, not just for our station, but for every single iHeart radio station in the country.
Okay.
And so it was a dumb story that didn't matter at all. And so we were like, you know what, just for the sake of our homies and, you know, Alabama, iHeart Radio and California, just everywhere else, we'll just take it down. It doesn't matter. If it was like a serious news story, we would have kept it up anyways and said, screw you and your ad dollars. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But in this case, it was like, we don't want to screw over the smaller markets who really, really depend on that.
Yeah. As far as like the corporation is concerned in iHeartRadio and like syndication, like how does that all work? Obviously people can stream your news segments on the radio from the app. But do some of the segments from like your newsroom that you work in get, played nationwide or?
No, not really. I mean, there have been times where, other markets have had me on the air to report from something that is kind of national news. Like, when I was covering the Boston Marathon, I think on like the 10-year anniversary of the bombing, I was doing live hits on other stations in the country because I guess they determined that was a big enough deal and to be national news. Otherwise, no, for the most part, it's all just broadcasting here in the Boston area.
Cool. Yeah, I never knew how that worked. And then obviously like the iHeartRadio thing, that was already going on well, before you started. But how do you think like that has affected radio in general? Like, is the app usage good? A lot of people rely on that versus, the regular AM radio. Is the quality a lot different? That's another question I have with AM radio. Obviously, you think of AM versus FM, the sound quality. Are you getting like FM quality out of the app versus AM quality?
Oh yeah, you're getting pristine quality out of the app. I mean, well, streaming quality, like a high quality stream. Which is, like you said, way better than AM radio. So, but most people, they listen in whatever manner is convenient to them. Mm-hmm. And we have to meet them wherever they are, if that's on their smart speaker. That's why I end every video with, ask Alexa to play WBZ News Radio on iHeartRadio. Yeah. Because we want to really hammer that into people's heads so they know when they're doing chores around the house, they can listen to the news on their smart speaker, and it sounds great. Sounds crystal clear.
And people don't have that dial radio on the counter anymore where they, it's like everyone just has a smart speaker.
Well, I think, even look at generations, say 25 years old and younger, don't even know the difference between AM and FM radio because they never had it to begin with.
Yeah.
So,
well, even with satellite radio, like that, it's really just a thing in the car for people. So they're pushing the app now, but it's like radio in general became, for a while, it's like it was becoming a car thing, not a house thing anymore.
Right.
Right. So. And the other thing is too, people listen to podcasts at home and on the go. And so we do a podcast of our news broadcast, like 3 times a day. We post little updates, which is basically just pulling exactly, what we broadcast on the air in like a half-hour chunk or like a 5-minute chunk and put it out as a podcast so that people can tune into pretty close to up to the minute stories. Wow. If they really want live breaking news, they should tune into the live broadcast. But if they want to listen on demand, they can do that too. And they'll just be an hour behind or so.
That's cool. I didn't realize you did the podcast as well.
Yes. It is called, oh my gosh, my boss is going to kill me. I'm blanking on the name. It's going to hit me in a few minutes, and
we'll put the link in the show notes.
Yeah, just yell it out when you think of it. It's all right.
Yeah.
Please do. Yes.
No, we always do the link.
I'm literally going to look this up right now because I feel so dumb. It's like I am literally.
This isn't your department, Matt. You don't have to.
Yeah, right. The Loop. That's it.
The Loop.
The Loop from WBZ News Radio. But if you do what I did in like Spotify or iHeartRadio and just type WBZ, it'll come up.
It'll come up. Perfect.
Yep.
Do you guys have any other stuff that I missed?
I don't. This is great. Yeah.
Matt,
Far has been great.
Yeah.
So
Thanks so much for joining us. That was a lot of fun. I feel like we learned a lot, and it's been a blast talking to you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. No, I love the vibe of your podcast. We're just hanging out and shooting the you-know-what.
I think
Can I swear on podcast?
You sure can.
On ours, you definitely can.
Yeah.
I'm not going to.
Yeah.
I'll end with this story,
Yeah.
too. This is true because my brain is so wired from years of working in radio that when there's a microphone in front of me to not swear. But when the microphone goes away, it's, I'll swear like a sailor. So when my friend had a kid, it was my first of my friend group to like have a kid. I would be swearing around him because he's my friend and that's what I do.
Yeah.
So they're like, dude, stop swearing in front of my kid. So what we would do when we would hang out is I would hold her little toy Barbie pink microphone in front of my face.
That's
just
great.
while we're hanging out,
That is
and it
awesome.
worked. I wouldn't swear.
I was going to say that'll never work for Mark
no,
because
No, it doesn't matter how many microphones are in front of
No,
his face.
I get a lot of. I would get a lot of crap from. Even trying not to swear is difficult for me.
you can't even form
Yeah.
sentences if you
No.
try to not swear.
No, I got to think about it way too much. But yeah, it would,
Oh, that's
All right,
great.
Thanks again,
yeah.
guys.
Hey,
This was
thank you,
awesome.
Nice
man.
meeting
Thanks for taking
you.
the time.
Yeah.
Take
Talk to
care.
you soon, Matt. Thank you.
All right. That was fantastic.
That was great.
That was great.
Let's go back to our callbacks. I didn't put a questions thing up because I figured it would be live and just let it happen anyway.
Yeah. It's
What did you have going on this week, Ryan? We didn't really get to your stuff.
So let's see. So, well, it's been a couple weeks since we did this, but the toy drive was a massive success.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I swung by. It was cold,
Yep.
but it was nice to see everybody.
It was cold. It was cold all day. Unfortunately, we can't seem to catch a break with weather anytime we do anything. KD decided it's Blake because anytime his name's associated with something, the weather is weird. But yeah, so in fact, today being Thursday on the live, if you're on the live chat, tomorrow is the toy drop. So they're bringing them to the school tomorrow, Friday. Tom went shopping with the cash.
Nice.
Had over $1,000 of donations on his end. I believe Kyle also got donations. I'm not sure what his count was, but they did another massive shop to fill in the gaps.
Nice. Very good.
So yeah, it was really cool. And just a little side note on the way home, have you heard of this? At the time, it was fabled. I've seen a couple since then. The Rhode Island Christmas tree light car.
There's one in Middleborough.
Okay, there's a few now. I've seen a few.
there's
I've
a
seen
few
a few
of them. Yeah,
since.
there's like a truck.
This was
running
the
around our
first
area.
one I had seen or heard of, and this person had like it's a newer car too. It doesn't look like it was that much old. It's like an Altima or a Maxima or something. And it was actually hard to tell what kind of car it was. The lights were strung everywhere except the front window, and they used painter's tape every third light to stick it to the car. The picture is amazing. Emma took because Emma was with me coming home from the thing, and she took a picture or several pictures.
I don't get decorating the car.
I thought we were over it. I feel like everyone's doing it this year because someone did it, and then like, oh well, I got to do it too. But when you see the car itself, oh no, it's a Civic, I guess. When you look at it, look at the little spots. That's all tape.
Oh man,
That's terrible.
God. I mean, I appreciate people being festive, but it looks like shit.
It really half the lights didn't work.
Yeah,
It's like,
right.
you know, what are we doing?
It looks like shit.
It does look like shit.
Oh, God.
Speaking of Christmas lights, so Cassie has this great story from her childhood. Her and her sisters and her dad would drive around, and they would just rate the Christmas lights on houses.
Yeah.
And the lowest rating you could get is a knock and slap.
A knock and slap?
Yeah, it's so bad you want to knock on the door and just slap them.
Punch him in the face.
So we'll be driving around and just, that's a knock and slap. The one that gets me is what I cannot get behind. I don't mind if your preference is white lights or colored lights or whatever.
Careful where you go with this,
what I
John.
can't get behind is the cool white lights.
Yeah.
I don't like
I don't like them.
the bluish white lights.
Yeah. The LED lights.
Well, you can get LED ones that are warm white.
You can, but I don't think people pay attention to that.
No, that light's disgusting.
What, warm white?
That hurts my eyes.
The warm light?
Yes.
What?
Why is it so dull?
That hurts your eyes?
It hurts my fucking eyes.
You sound ridiculous.
No. Why is it so dull?
See, no,
Why are your eyes
what
so
I was getting to
sensitive?
was my issue isn't any of them specifically. It's the combination. When people have
yes.
Oh, you gotta go one or the other.
warm white on the tree, they got warm
can't
white on the trees, and then they got the icicle lights that are cool white.
Yeah.
It's like, make up your mind.
Yeah.
You can't have both. You can't have it both ways.
I agree with you 100%. What about like
I have colored lights this year on the skeleton.
yeah.
Okay.
The 12-foot skeleton has colored lights and a Santa hat.
Does it look good?
I like it, yeah.
I'll let you know when I drop them off today.
Yeah, all right. you let me. Yeah. I'm curious.
But I don't know how I feel about like the dim white lights there, and like then you got the old bulbs people put on like trees and stuff. How do you feel about that?
What do you mean?
Like I have one
A combination of them?
yeah, not on the same bush or tree or whatever, but
I think it depends because I've seen it done where people will do like the strings of the old big colored lights and then a string of white lights around the lights.
Yeah.
So it's not like they didn't go from one to the other to the next.
Yeah.
It's a combination.
like all in one.
I don't hate it. I wouldn't do it, but I don't hate it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'd like it. I like everything the same. Like the colored lights on the skeleton was a tough thing for me because I'm usually a white light only guy.
Yeah.
But
So you specifically went out and bought lights for the skeleton.
we got a kit because I wanted a Santa hat for the
this
skeleton.
this is even better now.
So I looked up 12-foot skeleton Santa hat.
I can't fucking believe they make a kit.
Well, I didn't.
Do you know
I
how
didn't
many of
seek
those
this
skeletons I've seen?
No,
They're
I know.
way more than should exist.
Yeah, but to have a kit,
So I looked up.
They know they
Christmas
bought
lights?
it.
I looked up 12-foot skeleton hat,
yeah.
and it came up 12-foot skeleton Christmas kit
Can I ask you, why did you think you have to buy a specific hat?
because
It
it's
was
12.
that
It's
or
a,
another 12-foot skeleton that was Christmas themed.
The
because it's
skull's
a-
not 12 feet long.
yeah, but it's proportional to the body. You're not 12 feet tall. If you were, your head would be twice as big.
I don't know.
His head is twice as big as my head.
I guess so.
I know so because it's in my yard.
I guess so.
When I take that Santa hat off, I want you to try it on. Wait till you see.
I
And
have
it's
a
tight.
small head already.
It's like spandex on him, and it's 4 times the size of my head. It's huge.
All right. Can't wait for January.
So yes, that's why they have a 12-foot skeleton Santa hat. I'll bring it on the ice fishing trip. The skeleton, not the hat.
We don't need to do that.
I'm going to bring the 12-foot skeleton out on the
You
ice.
have to bring a separate car just to put
I'm
the
not.
skeleton.
I'm not even going to entertain this.
No.
All right.
I have another light themed
Okay.
story.
Yeah.
So the Friday after Thanksgiving, so this is a funny story. So the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, Blake sends me a picture. Is a picture of an inflatable raft, like you tow behind your boat,
Yeah.
like a dinghy, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
with inflatable sides and like I'm assuming like a hard bottom. And inside that is a wooden cutout of about a 7-foot tall marlin. And he says the annual Newport Christmas light parade, and I know he's gone to this for years, with friends of his, and he's like, "Are you in?" And I said, "Yep." Okay. Cut to Thanksgiving Eve, I believe I called him. So this is a couple days before Thanksgiving, because I know he's busy for Thanksgiving because he's got like a lot of people coming over. He was cooking, so I wanted to ask him before Friday. I was
You're like, hey, what's the deal with this?
what's the deal with,
Yeah.
whatever? Are we all going to fit in the dinghy? And should I wear like some type of waterproof clothing? And I'm sure it took a while for him to respond because he was laughing
Yeah.
because I'm a fucking moron. He's like, "That's the trailer, you idiot. We're going on like a 36-foot fishing boat." I was like, "Oh, well, that's way better." I'm definitely down for that.
Yep.
So, did I send you guys the pictures?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Oh, you
Yeah, it
sent
looked
me.
awesome.
Yeah, so we went on his friend Joe's boat. He has a like the fishing. You saw the picture. It's like a fishing boat, whatever. I don't know the exact specs of it. It was really cool. He just got it this summer and has like 3 outriggers for the fishing lines. So we used the strings to pull lights up,
Yeah.
and then he had climbed up and did the whole top of the tower with lights, and then they did the lights on the fishing on the dinghy with the fish.
Yeah.
And so there's a picture of the boat.
Yeah, nice boat.
But so then we had we had everything there, and then Blake dressed up as Santa Claus, had a Santa Claus suit.
Wonderful.
And what they did was they took a light line, well, a light and a rope, but they hooked the light to the fish and then to the fishing pole on the boat.
Yeah.
And then we drove around, and I was dressed in black, so I was crouched down, and the whole thing was lit up, and I was pulling the dinghy closer and farther away, and it looked like Blake was reeling the fish in as Santa Claus.
Oh, that's cool.
So we were the front page of the article, the Newport Neely Buzz or whatever.
Oh, no kidding.
And it was
awesome.
like a fishing Santa Claus, And we heard from several people when we were all done that the bars were like clapping for people going by because we went by the whole front, like waterfront bars.
Yeah.
And when we went by, everyone was like losing their shit. So I was like, that's right.
Awesome.
But yeah, Blake's friend Joe dreamt the whole thing
What
up.
was this event called again?
The Newport Parade of Lights, Christmas Parade of Lights.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was really awesome. We had a lot of fun. Made hot dogs on the roller. Kind of cruised around the harbor for like an hour or so while everyone lined up, and then it was like 24 or 26 boats. We won a prize. So that was
Nice.
pretty cool.
There it is.
Can you see it all lit up?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool, right?
Oh, you found a picture of that boat?
Kavu is the name of the
Yeah,
boat?
Cavu, yep.
Yeah. I
You
got it right here.
What one did you click on?
I did Newport Parade of Lights 2024. I went to images.
Huh.
I didn't go to the news page.
Oh, I
didn't
see. You went
know.
to images.
Yeah, but let's see here.
Yeah, I guess they had a couple of boats that were like
And
I don't know
if,
if they're cruise line,
That's
like
cool.
small like dinner boats or whatever, but they're like commercial, big boats. And then a bunch of sailboats, a bunch of like smaller boats. It was really cool. Definitely into it for next year. So, but that was our Friday night after Thanksgiving. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, got it.
got it?
John's got it. Here we go.
Yeah. I was just going to send you the link.
Open image and new tab.
That let me tell you about that burp you just fucking sailed over here.
Oh, sorry, buddy.
Shit.
Oh, yeah. Look at him
That's
go.
awesome.
So he's waving and riling the crowd up. There was a boat full of kids. They were losing their shit because they saw Santa Claus on the boat. So
Yep.
he's yelling, ho, ho, ho.
That's awesome.
That's great.
My hands were so fucking cold.
Yeah.
Because that rope just kept going in the water and coming back out and going in the water and coming back out. And we weren't really moving fast enough so that the boat would sail back out. We had to
Yeah, just like
make
kind
some ground up.
of push it out.
Yeah, but
Nice. That's a fun weekend.
yeah, it was a good time.
Cool.
I haven't been on like a boat like that in years.
No, that's definitely cool. I'm excited for ice fishing. Speaking of boats,
I am too.
it's gonna be good.
There's something a couple things I just like to just talk about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, I don't know how popular they are now, but they still drive me nuts. Flash mobs.
Yes, they drive me crazy.
Like,
Has that been a thing lately? I hope
No,
not. Okay,
it's
good.
not. It's just something
been lingering-
that
a lingering thought.
I saw one on a video or something. I'm like, are we fucking kidding?
You know what flash mobs remind me of?
I'm like, to take the fucking time to get that organized to even fucking do that is ridiculous. Like, you have nothing better to do.
No.
That's my opinion.
The ones that dance remind me of all those movies they did in like the 90s and early
Yeah.
2000s about high school where
Yeah.
everyone was all of a sudden a coordinated dancer.
Yeah.
Like, the
Everyone-
fuck is
yeah.
happening?
Yeah. I just saw a video of one the other day, and I'm just like, get the fuck out of here. I'm like, I just don't understand. And it was a shitty one.
Yeah.
It wasn't even good. I'm like, you guys got all together
All
to
this
suck.
work to suck.
Like, how do you take all that fucking time figuring this out and you guys just fucking blow? Like, you fucking suck.
You are terrible.
Terrible. And then I saw a video. This is it's another one of those hobby things.
Oh, did Blake send you the thing about the guy on the dirt bike?
Nah, he might have. I don't know.
So you know we were talking about hobby horsing?
Yeah.
So he sent it was a picture of a guy. It was a stick with handlebars and a dirt bike seat, and he was like pretending to be on a dirt bike just to like bust. You know.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
So then and this is a huge thing too, is fingerboarding.
The tech deck stuff where they can actually flip the boards.
Yeah.
While
Those things are cool. I used to love those when I was little.
It's fucking hard. I've never tried, but like, I can't imagine it's easy to get them to do the actual tricks.
So, the reason I brought this up today was this is one of his videos, Matt's videos.
Oh, really?
One of his reels he did, one of the towns. I forget what town it was. And this kid runs his own company making fingerboards and things like that. And I was just like, I can't. It's amazing to me, these little things that become these huge things.
Yeah.
It's wild. I don't know. It blows my mind that this is like a big competitive market.
Yeah, and I don't really feel like it has been until very, very recently.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like skate parks are closed. Let's see what my fingers can do. I don't know.
That's what she said.
No, I mean, I remember when they first came out, and it was like, you know, I remember being in like junior high and taking like a wooden pencil, and you like rub your hand on the desk, and you could like get it to stick to your finger.
Yeah.
And like when you're in class, like you're just
Sure.
fucking around, not paying attention to class. And like somebody took that and was like, I should make a little mini skateboard out of this. And it's a pretty great idea. Now, with that said, I don't think it's necessary to like
Have a worldwide competition.
that or
this
like
guy's
build a skate
champ-
park.
Like this guy's like a champion.
It'll be in the Olympics in
A
8
fucking
years.
champion.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like they got little benches like grinding on. It's like
Yeah.
Yeah.
just fucking crazy to me. It blows my mind.
Yeah, it is
Blows
weird.
my mind.
I mean, look at how long it took breakdancing to get into the Olympics, though.
Well, I feel like they've opened a door they can't close, like Pandora's box. Like it's just all these weird shits.
Pandora's stupid box.
fucking box. Yeah.
Jeez.
Oh man.
I want to do news.
Let's do news.
All right.
What do you
I
got?
got a couple more things.
What do you got?
I got one more thing I want to rant about.
Okay.
Just sit on
Check my notes, see, make sure I'm
Mark's,
missing anything.
theme here. I have been taking a class this week for work.
Yeah.
It is a class to get certified to test certain parts of the system, right? So it's a like kind of a hybrid license
Yep.
to test backflows. And most buildings have them. A lot of buildings have multiple, blah, blah, blah. They got to be checked once a year. Plumbers, you don't have to be a plumber or a pipe fitter, whatever. You can just get a backflow license, but then there's a lot of gray area, what you can and can't touch when you do it. So
Yeah.
whatever. I'm in a class with a bunch of adults. I have never been more aggravated going to a class in a long time, right? I remember being in like school and you know, it's like all the same personalities you had to go to school with. They're just older. You got the kid that won't shut the fuck up. You got the kid who's like, you know, Mr. I know everything and is yelling the answers out before the guy even finishes like the thought he had in his brain. And somebody's like, can you guys just stop? I'm getting to this information. Like, relax. And
I have to yell it out.
oh my God, people are like, oh, I'm not doing well. I'm gonna have to look at yours. Like, no, the fuck out of here, dude. Like, I'm just so aggravated. Be better, people.
Just shut the fuck up and listen.
Dude.
Yeah. Those things are, some people just want to hear themselves talk.
Well, that's it. And the person reminds me of someone, and I'll tell you who he reminds me of later on.
You can't do it on the air?
No.
Oh.
And you'll get exactly what I'm talking about.
Text it to me. I'll do it.
No.
No, it's I totally feel that because we have this annual safety meeting at work that we have to do every single year. And it's like all, pretty basic stuff, but a lot of it's, good reminder things as far as like, keep your head in the game. Like, if you're not well rested and you're doing like an important thing, like get a peer check, have somebody else like, hey, just make sure I'm looking at this the right way, whatever. It's stuff that it's overconfidence. I guess that's a big thing is overconfidence. But the point is, it's stuff that we talk about every year. And somebody always has to chime in. Well, Mr. Instructor, I have a story about that. And it's like, what the fuck?
Everyone has the exception to the rule. You're not the only one.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, well, that's not right because blah, 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 blah. Dude, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
What he's telling us is on the test.
Yeah.
I'm going to put what he tells us down. I don't need your fucking stories right now. That's why my classes are going an hour late every fucking day.
That's
And-
like when
and-
yeah.
It's not story time.
Yeah.
It's not story time.
Well,
I don't think the description of the fucking course said, "Hey, tell us your fucking stories we don't give a shit about."
It's back full of training and anecdotes from the fucktards in the audience.
One of our big things is always peer checking. And it's like, there's always the guy in the back of the room. Well, it's like, what am I supposed to do when the other guy doesn't show up to the job site and there's nobody there to peer check it? I'm like, oh, actually, the thing you should do is complain about it in safety class in 9 months. Okay?
Yeah.
That's what you should do.
Yeah.
It's like, well, shut the fuck up. Ugh.
Yeah, it's like, and I tell Ann all the time, it's like going to school with all the kids who didn't do well in school, so they went into a trade, and putting them back in school is not a great idea. They haven't changed. I can tell you that for a fact.
Someone should just be like, "Do you feel heard now? Are you happy?"
Right. Well, the best is
Because we're upset we had to listen.
This kid's got something to say about everything. Everything he yells out is either wrong or irrelevant or whatever. And at the end of the day, I said to Ann yesterday, I was like,
if I could,
this kid's got all of 4 years in real world experience because he might be 25.
Yeah.
But he knows everything. He's the best plumber that's ever plumbed plums. And I don't know. I just like, what the fuck? Shut up. And somehow I ended up right in front of him.
Those are the people that your customers hate because they don't shut the fuck up.
Yes.
Yep.
Just do your fucking job.
I have people that work with like that. Like they just start on these random irrelevant stories. Like everyone can tell an anecdote here and there as you're going along the day, but like it derails the entire process. Yeah. Where the duct tape?
Where the duct tape? Mr. DJ, I don't know what you're talking about. Duct tape.
What else you got?
That was pretty much it.
Right.
Well, as far as that goes, I just like, ugh. I just need to take the test tomorrow and get the fuck out of that class.
Oh, to duct tape their mouth shut. I think that's what he's talking about.
Oh, yeah. There we go. That's because it's duct. D-U-C-T.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, well, duct tape is the brand like Kleenex. That's like the fancy brand. Duct
now it is.
tape.
It never was before.
Yeah.
They capitalized on everyone's mispronunciation.
Yeah.
Right.
That's like the popular brand, though.
Right.
Yep. Anything else before I hit news?
Nope, I think we can swing to news.
Breaking news.
Missing grandmother believed to have fallen into a sinkhole. This is fucking crazy to me because whenever I see a sinkhole,
you can't read a headline like that.
I can't.
You can, but not in front of me because now I can't control myself.
The sinkhole was 4 inches deep. She rolled her ankle and she's doing just fine.
Yeah. A search and rescue mission is currently underway for Elizabeth Pollard. That was as of yesterday at 1:00.
Where is this happening?
Rescuers desperately searching for a grandmother they believe fell into a deep sinkhole, holding on to hope of finding her despite the difficult rescue conditions. She was last seen,
sinkhole?
Yeah.
That's a fucking small pond.
She was last seen Monday evening. The sinkhole is believed to be tied to an abandoned coal mine.
Perfect.
Wow.
Informed while she was walking in the area.
If you live anywhere from northern Pennsylvania to fucking Georgia, beware.
Funny you say that. So, though the integrity of the mine has been compromised by the water they're using to break up the ground, Pennsylvania State Police trooper said during a brief on Wednesday, search crews will no longer be sent into the mine due to the danger of collapse.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
The search effort is shifting to cameras. So it'll continue as long as they can continue. Hopefully she has an air pocket. It's not looking good,
They
though.
need to get the crew
Unlikely.
from Oak Island down there.
That whole thing, is that just dark or is that water?
Um,
Was that just the dark hole? or
It
was
doesn't really specify. Her vehicle was located shortly before 3 a.m. Tuesday with her 5-year-old granddaughter inside.
Holy shit.
At that time, we realized this was a very bad situation.
And I wonder what the granddaughter saw.
An apparent sinkhole with an opening about the size of a manhole, 15 to 20 feet from the vehicle. Let me see if I can get more information on if it's water. The sinkhole formed has a very thin layer of earth, and it has appeared to be deteriorating for a long time. That is just nuts.
So her 5-year-old
Yeah, it's
granddaughter.
in Unity Township, Pennsylvania.
5-year-old granddaughter sitting in the car,
all different depths.
We're gonna assume she took this walk out in daylight, right?
I mean, okay. Yeah, we could do that.
And then the kid just sat there?
Well, I guess if you're the child and you walk and you see your grandmother disappear in the earth, I'm going to hang in the car.
I would probably find help somehow.
I mean, you're 5. How do you find help? Like, what do you know about
I
finding
don't
help?
know. But 5-year-olds aren't dumb.
They're not dumb. They're panicky.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
Some might be dumb.
Well, yeah.
How deep did they say that hole was? Did you get
20 feet
20 feet?
is what they could see immediately, but then there's like caverns off of it.
Shit.
Good Lord.
Yep.
And the car was
crazy.
parked like right there?
The car was parked like 10 feet from it.
So what was she doing? Probably like taking a piss on the side of the road or something? No, I'm being serious. I'm not being an asshole.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
not-
I don't know.
My question is, when you built the fucking house and you dug the foundation, nobody saw the goddamn tunnels?
Yeah, it's
Maybe they don't go that way.
Well, it's clearly next there. Right
I
there.
understand.
yeah, or that it slowly was deteriorating around the house after the house was there.
And it's safe to say that house had no cameras.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
I don't want to be
I'm not
judgmental,
even-
but I think
Yeah.
we might be right on that
I'm
one.
not even sure there's electricity.
So yeah, sending T's and P's for Elizabeth. Hopefully, hopefully they find her in the hole.
Jeez and
My
peas.
goodness.
Well, let's bring the mood back up.
All right.
You guys remember the ground round?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming back, I heard.
There's a couple, place in Shrewsbury.
Yeah.
Well, I say a couple coming. There's a couple who was
Yeah.
bought the rights to the restaurant and is building one in Shrewsbury.
I think there's one in North Dakota right now or something.
They said there's
Yeah.
about 3 left in the country
Let's look them up.
because they still had to get the rights to it. It wasn't a defunct company completely. There was still a few, but they have acquired the rights and they are currently I believe it's an old Benihana's that they're fucking redoing, which is hilarious.
Bismarck, North Dakota, Grand Forks, North Dakota. I guess
North Dakota heavy.
Minute.
Do they know that the
Minot,
ground round
North
doesn't exist
Dakota,
around the
and
rest of the country anymore? They got the news.
Perrysburg, Ohio. So there's 4 right now.
All right.
All places I'd never want to go.
Did you go to the original one ever at the Galleria?
Oh yeah,
Oh, I thought it was good.
yeah. That was the original one.
No.
No,
No.
I mean, like, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was saying
Oh,
we had
yeah,
one
yeah.
in Dartmouth for years.
No, I'm
That's
talking
not what
about
I
those
meant.
are all towns I would never want to go to.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not talking. I love the ground.
I want to go to North Dakota. I want to ice fish out there. You kidding?
Yeah, I guess ice fishing. would be
Yeah.
cool there.
That's how quick he changed his mind.
Yeah, that's exciting though. I'm glad
Probably
for
the
it
only
to come
place
back.
left in the country with ice this time of year.
It better be fucking good. That's all.
Yeah, I hope so.
I hope so. That they did the peanut thing right on the floor.
Yeah, so yeah.
They did. No,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
I don't know if you'll
remember
be able to do that
No.
anymore, though.
Why? The fucking Roadhouse does, don't they?
I know, but like
Because
no,
everybody's
like,
allergic to
yeah.
peanuts.
You just don't
even
bring your
some
kid there.
even some Five Guys don't even have peanuts for free in the dining room anymore. Miller High Life releases Dive Bar cologne. Did you hear about this?
Is it just you open the can and pour it on you?
No, it's actual cologne,
Because I know a lot of guys like that
Yep.
at work.
and it's a limited edition fragrance, Dive Bar Fume, designed to embody the aroma of your local dive bar.
All right,
Priced
bar,
at
bar fume is really catchy. Like that's a really quirky like pull on that.
priced at $60 per bottle. This unique scent promises to evoke the bar counter that smells like cedar wood, the musky scent of those worn-in leather bar stools, and the sea salt from the basket of fries and popcorn, and the crisp aroma when the bartender cracks open your champagne of beers.
What about the stale cigarette smoke of the hooker sitting next to you?
Yeah. Yeah, there it is.
God.
So I'm gonna try to obtain this.
I think you better.
It's already sold out
Christmas
now, but it
presents?
comes back out.
Yeah.
It comes back out tomorrow. Supposedly, there's another batch of it coming out tomorrow. So I'm gonna try to hit it right when it goes on sale. We'll see what I can come up with. I know somebody that would really appreciate that.
Yeah, I had someone in mind too.
Yep.
Diesel Dave, I am not sure if they're going to do baseball hat ice cream.
The baseball hat ice cream was the best.
Yes, it was.
Friendlies, I think. Who the hell was it? Friendlies that did those before? I remember going
Dairy Queen.
Dairy Queen. I say I remember after Little League going to get those.
They still do.
The baseball hat ones,
Yeah.
nice. That's exciting.
Let's see here.
Love a Blizzard. Cassie doesn't like Dairy Queen.
Oh my God, have you seen the thing? It's like
Really?
Newton and the apple. He's
What's
like, I've
that?
discovered
Really?
gravity. Someone hands him a Blizzard and flipped it upside down. He's like, oh, come on.
That's funny.
What is her soft serve choice?
Not soft serve.
Oh, at all?
Yeah.
Oh, she doesn't like soft serve at
Oh,
all.
have you ever gone to the Moose?
Well, you know what? She likes the swirl soft serve, but she likes like actual soft serve ice cream. Dairy Queen is like not ice cream or frozen yogurt. It's like a frozen dessert substance.
Take her to Muddy Moose and
I don't know. I feel like that's
Muddy
all-
Moose and
I
Tiverton.
feel
I've heard of
like
that
There's
place.
like 200. It's in the same parking lot the tattoo place used to be in.
Oh, okay.
It's just in front.
I really cannot taste the difference from anyone's soft serve. Like whatever. I don't think any of it's like real ice cream.
We should stop on the way back and get some.
Yeah, because that place is open in the
'cause
winter.
It's all about the flavors, right? So there's like 200 flavors.
Dairy Queen was open yesterday when I drove by.
Select ones. What one did you drive by?
The one in Middleborough.
Oh, the one in Middleborough. It's going to be closed by the time we get there.
I mean, they still make burgers and fries, right? People can eat there.
Middleborough does not do food. They only do ice cream at that one.
Today in history.
Today in history.
Yeah, thanks, Dad. All right. 1933 was the end of Prohibition in the U.S. 1939, LaGuardia Airport in New York opens for the first time. Yeah. 1971, first Sunday paper published. This was The Observer was the name of it. It's in Britain. 1982, the first artificial heart transplant took place in the University of Utah Medical Center.
Is that the one that used the pig heart or a fake heart?
Didn't say.
No.
It's it became.
I guess if it's artificial, it can't be a pig. 'Cause it's real. That's
right.
a real heart,
Surgery
technically.
occurred. Yeah, no, it just says artificial heart. 112 days after Clark lived for 112 days after.
I was going to say, I thought he died fairly soon after. Yeah.
Yeah. And then 1991, Pan Am.
Pan Am Airlines.
Yeah, ceases operations.
Bummer.
Yep.
They made cool stuff.
And they were the largest airline in the United States. Began operation 1927.
And now they have cool luggage.
Do they?
Yeah.
Because your luggage
They
needs
make the
because
occasional
your luggage needs to be cool.
collectible Matchbox car, too.
Yep, they do. And I'm pretty sure the hotel... there's a hotel that's like fashioned after a vintage like airport airplane theme, and I think it's like a Pan Am hotel. I want to say it's at LaGuardia, actually.
LaGuardia.
That's
LaGuardia.
That's going to need a
LaGuardia.
fact check right there.
Yeah, Pan Am Hotel.
Yeah, because weren't they? I think they're the ones that used to have the ads. It's like, oh, come fly with us, and you look at the pictures, and the people are like stretched out, and they've got all this room, and there's just like food everywhere.
So currently, right now, Diesel Dave. Yes, the Ground Round will serve ice cream and miniature baseball hats when it reopens in Shrewsbury. Actually, that wasn't even the Google I did. I just asked if they still do. So
And it came right up.
it came right up. So this is obviously a popular
Sounds like these
question.
people were round enthusiasts, and they're
And
really,
the restaurant
really
is
going for it.
expected to open in the coming months.
Yeah, it looks like it's almost done.
It was
It was a
TWA.
regular. It was another building that just refitting it.
TWA.
That's the vintage airline
That's sick.
hotel
That
at
is sick.
LaGuardia.
Fucking cool.
That should be in every plane.
Yep, but this is a hotel
In the airport.
in the airport.
That's cool.
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
It'd be really funny if they just put a bunch of chairs smashed together with one bathroom
this
for
still
everyone
exists.
to share.
Oh yeah, that's there.
I didn't realize it still existed.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
No, it's really really neat.
I didn't think it still existed until
Actually,
I saw the Peloton.
I think it's fairly new.
Yeah, no, it opened like I don't know, maybe 4 years ago. 5 years
2023
ago.
is Travelers Award, so it's fairly new.
Shit, that's what I meant to say to talk about with Matt. He's won a Best of Boston award the last 2 years in a
Oh, no
row.
shit.
Yeah. But yeah, so the TWA hotel looks cool. We should when somebody brings that dump truck full of money to Revival, we should go stay there and do a segment about it because it looks very cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I got.
Said it was completed in 2019.
The TWA hotel.
Yeah. I guess that's when it opened, right?
I would say so.
Yeah.
Completed. That's when they
Completed,
opened it. Yeah.
Wow. Cool.
I think we've said it all.
All right, fine.
We said a lot.
We said a lot. It was a fun episode. We have some fun stuff in the works. Next week is to be determined, with that said. But we have stuff coming up after that.
Yep.
We have some fun and exciting things. We're finally getting that reptile episode that I've been after for years.
Oh, well, I'll believe when I see it, John.
You'll have to wait till next year.
I want to know where this ashtray came from. That's what I want to know.
Yeah, tell us about the billet ashtray.
The guys that Revival had on last night are machinists.
Awesome.
Oh, who came on last night?
NLI Performance and LNI.
LNI? LMNAO?
I haven't got to that part of the show yet, but
Okay. Yeah, I haven't listened to yesterday's episode yet.
but yeah, they machined that.
Yeah, no,
It's pretty sick.
It's awesome.
Yeah, they were talking about like cigar sizes and if
Yeah.
they would fit.
Yeah,
Oh,
I know
okay.
all those
And how
guys.
Josh is going to take up smoking cigars just so he can use the ashtray.
Is that what
Yeah.
he said? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
If he doesn't, I'm.
Oh, Spags, Dave. I miss Spags. It's
What's
like it was like Building 19 in Worcester.
Yeah, is that what it was? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Same
My
idea.
father-in-law
Yeah.
talks about it all the time.
That was another Worcester. That's another funny thing, Matt. I was going to ask him about. You know the portal from New York to Dublin that they
Yeah.
did? He made a portal from Boston to Worcester.
Ooh.
It was literally just folding tables with laptops on them, because that's literally all the Dublin one. It's just a big webcam.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, so he did a Boston to Worcester portal. It's pretty.
How
funny.
long before he lost the computers in Worcester?
I think they were guarded.
You had a chance at Boston, but that shit was gone in Worcester.
Yeah, no, I think they were guarded.
I don't think that matters, John.
True.
What made Spag so special?
I think for them, like, you went to like a Building 19, right?
Yeah.
That was just the only store like that over
and like,
there.
isn't Ocean State like a Building 19?
Yeah, but Ocean State is like better at Building 19, I think.
Yeah.
Building 19 had just
More better.
More better.
boxes of garbage on the floor you dug through. Like it was it's like the Aldi's of fucking, whatever, junk stores. But Spags had everything from like 2x4s to, I don't know, lamps. It was just.
I get just a thought. I don't know why it popped into my head.
All right, let's hear it.
So, you like the Muppets?
I mean, I did when I was a kid, sure.
Fucking love the Muppets. You love the Muppets? You like the Muppets?
I like them. I'm in.
Yeah. I'm in.
All right.
That's the thought.
That was my thought. Yeah, I was
You
watching.
just wonder if I like them.
I was watching. I got this reel.
Where do we go from here?
I got this. That's it. I got this reel that
He
came
wants
up.
someone to work on like a puppet?
It was
I
an
don't
SNL skit that it was a Christmas thing. You know what the skit is.
Yeah.
And then he did one with the Muppets. It was fucking so funny. I'm like, I love this way more than the original. So that's it. That's my final thought for the night.
I started watching the show Detroiters.
What's that about?
It's the show that Tim Robertson was on before he did the show I Think You Should Leave.
Oh, yeah. I still haven't watched that.
It's funny. But yeah, the other show's funny too. That's all I got.
That's it. Any final thoughts?
Be better in class if you're an adult.
Just
Stop
be better.
sucking.
Just be better.
Just be better.
That's a good
as
theme.
An adult,
Better.
like,
Bro, can we talk about how it like flurried this morning and the highway was just at a standstill?
ugh.
Yeah, there was actually like real snur at my office. I was like,
Really?
whoa.
Because I went up 495. There's no
Snur.
snur anywhere
Yeah.
up there.
You never seen that meme, Mark? It's such a good one.
I went to drove to Holliston.
Holliston. Hollister, like the store in the mall.
No, I wish. Although I think the people who live in Holliston shop at Hollister, so it's not far off. But
I wish, he says.
This is a wonderful image that you should know, Mark.
my God, snur.
The first time it snows every year, this is the first thing that comes to mind for me. It's just look at that little thing. It's
And
so
you say
happy.
it. You
Talk
say it
about
out
a
loud, don't
derpy
you?
face.
I do.
What a derpy
Snur,
face.
snur.
He says it out loud. I already know.
Yep, I do.
You have to say it out loud.
I do indeed. Well, we'll see everybody next week.
All right.
Thanks for listening. And huge thanks to Matt Shearer for joining us. You should check out @ReporterMatt on all the social medias. We'll stick that in the show notes. And The Loop is the WBZ podcast that you can find on your favorite podcast streaming platform. And you should follow, and subscribe to Topics Under the Stairs on whatever you're listening to right now. Or if you're watching on YouTube, click that little bell. Subscribe to the channel so you get notifications when we go live every week. You can hop on the chat. If you're just a listener, on audio only.
Please go to the B4B page because we are
Yeah.
on our last legs with these microphone
We're
stands.
using plastic clamps to hold the microphones up. We
I've
need
got a
help.
microphone stand Inception holding up another microphone
Yeah.
stand.
Buy some merch and go on B4B. Thank you. We'll see you soon.
Later.